Welcome in, Chipola Nation. I'm Donnie Tyndall, head men's basketball coach. Got my assistant coach here with me, one of my assistant coaches, Lane Blue. Lane's actually our associate head coach. He was promoted this offseason, does an outstanding job here in our program in all phases. And we'll let him tell you a little bit about himself. Let's start with your high school. I know it was an illustrious high school playing career, right, Lane?
Yeah,
and then your college career as well. Go ahead.
So I grew up in a super small town, 1,300 people, graduated with 31 people, super small school in rural Missouri.
Well, before you go any further, 31 people. Did you graduate in the upper half of your class?
I tell people I did, but who knows? I'm not sure. We were hooping. That's all we were worried about.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, go ahead.
But graduated from there, went to Three Rivers Community College, played for Gene Best there. Had 2 nice years there, learned a ton from Coach Buss, who's now in the Naismith Hall of Fame. Went to Ole Miss right after that, was there for 2 years as a player for Andy Kennedy, and then 2 years as a GA for Kermit Davis, who obviously you know, and then I went to Mississippi Gulf Coast after that, coached there for 2 years with Tim Ryan, and then I've been here, this is my second year, so a little well-traveled from a small start.
For your age, you're right. You've been around a little bit. But, let's go back to your high school career, because I tease about you having an illustrious high school career. But you were a heck of a high school player. What was your game high? 54, did you tell me?
49, yeah.
49 points in a high school game. That's pretty good. And then went on to play at Three Rivers, as he mentioned. I want you to think about this young guy and how fortunate he's been. He played for a great high school coach who won many state championships. He played for Gene Best, who is the all-time leader in men's college basketball and wins, past Dean Smith, Mike Krzyzewski, Bobby Knight, all of them, and just got inducted to the Naismith Hall of Fame. Then played for Andy Kennedy, who's a great coach, the current coach at UAB, and then was a graduate assistant for Kermit Davis at Ole Miss, who we all know Coach Davis here from Chipola was SEC Coach of the Year at one time. And then Tim Ryan at Gulf Coast, who won a national championship here in junior college at Central Florida. So there's a reason you're pretty good. You've been lucky to work for some really good coaches.
Yeah, no doubt. Been very fortunate.
Well, tell us this. You got your start with Kermit as a GA, and I know you learned a ton from Coach Davis. He spoke so highly of you before I made the hire here. But what was it that made you leave a great situation at Mississippi Gulf Coast to come here to Chipola? And you don't have to lie to everyone and tell them it was me. What was the real reason, Lane?
I think a combination of things. Obviously where you've been, who you've been around, and I respect the people that you've been around, and they spoke highly of you. And then the other thing is just being in the Panhandle Conference. When you're in junior college, it's the very best conference in the country, and I knew I wanted to keep coaching and furthering my career, so I had to take that next step. And so it was a win-win for me, getting to be around you and people that I respected you, and then getting to be in this conference and compete nightly was something I wanted to be a part of.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, and we do know a lot of the same people, which is the small basketball world out there. But Lane did an outstanding job last year in his first year. We started the season 21-0. We were number 1 in the country for about a month. We went to the national tournament, won a game, went to the Sweet 16. We were Panhandle Conference champions. And then, like I mentioned earlier, we promoted him to associate head coach this season. He was involved right down the final 2 or 3 for a really good junior college job. So this guy's going to make another move in the near future. It may not be as a head junior college coach. He may go right to being a Division I assistant. And but then again, maybe it is a head junior college coach. He's certainly ready. I guess my next question leading into that, Lane, would be, what are your career goals? What are some things you're looking to maybe achieve here in the next 5 to 10 years?
Overall, career goal would be to be a high major head coach. That would be my dream, something I've thought about for a long time and wanted to do. But with that, as you know, you got to take baby steps along the way. And so in the next 5 years, I'd love to be a junior college head coach, get my head coaching experience, and then try to move up to the Division I ranks and keep rolling. So yeah, that would be great.
Well, I see all those things. You're what, 28, 27?
27.
27 years old. He's already been with some great coaches. He's associate head coach here at one of the best JUCO programs in the country. And, I say this, and I don't know if this is good or bad, but he reminds me a lot of myself at the same age, with his passion for the game, his work ethic, and his drive to improve every day and just help the program in any way he can. And he's also got another half that may even be better than him. Tell us about your family, Lane.
My wife, Hannah, we grew up in a similar town. She was about 20 minutes away, so we've known each other since about 7th grade. Started dating our junior year of high school and been together ever since. So
Wow.
last year we had our little girl, Collins. She's a little over a year old now, and so we're rolling right along. Collins is hooping and loving basketball so far, so everything's going good.
Well, that's pretty cool. You know, it's not many times where the wife in the family was the better player of the two, but she certainly is. And their daughter Collins is just the absolute doll. And we've already predicted in some early scouting reports, Collins is the 2040 favorite to be Miss Basketball in the state of Florida. So she's on her way, and we're looking forward to watching her. I'm sure she will be a basketball player. But tell me this, since you've been at Chipola going on a year and a half, give me one or two pleasant surprises that maybe you didn't anticipate when you made the move to come here to Chipola with me.
I don't know if it's necessarily a surprise, but pleasant surprise and just something I've been used to and loved being around was the daily, what we do every single day, the popping, the energy, the attention to detail. You know, Coach Davis and Coach Kennedy at that level were really high on that type of stuff. And so the day-to-day grind of it, I love that. I love how energetic we all are every single day. You know, we're getting to do something that we love. I enjoy this every single day. Coming in, it's not like a job at all. And so I don't want to say pleasant surprise, but it has been a pleasant surprise at the same time, being here at Chipola. And then the other thing I would say is probably the fans. You know, like having fans at practice, I think that's super cool. Everybody wants to come to games and love when your team's doing well, but there's very few places in the country where people there at practice and the dog days, as you will, watching you practice, fight it out at practice, grind it out every day. And so I think that's cool and getting to mingle with those guys here in town.
Yeah, it really is. You know, when you talk about guys like Billy Swales and Jewett and Doc Albritton and Terry Allen, we could go down the list, but guys that are consistently coming by practice to watch and enjoy it and get to know our players and our staff a little bit, that really is very unique and special and part of what probably separates Chipola from a lot of different places. Well, That's good stuff. Tell me this, what's your thoughts on this year's team? Obviously, we had a good team last year, won a conference title, went to the national tournament, maybe fell short of our actual final goal. But what's your thoughts on this year's team and maybe where you perceive the ceiling to be for this year's team?
I've enjoyed being around this year's team. I think the biggest thing was, and I loved all those guys last year, but the biggest difference to me was we've had a ton of guys that spend a lot of extra time. You know, we'll have off days from the weight room and guys are texting me to get in the weight room. We have a off day in general, guys are wanting to get in the gym. Guys are wanting to watch film in between classes. I feel like we've got a collection of more guys who care and love basketball at a really high level, close to what we do as coaches, and I think that matters, and I think that has shown in their play this far. Got a long ways to go. I like that we're 4-0 and nowhere near our ceiling. But I think this team can do a lot of damage this year. I think very attainable goals are to win the Panhandle, try to win the state, make a good run at national tournament, and try to win a national title. I think, you know, obviously we've got to improve daily and keep getting better and better, but we've got the guys, in my opinion, to do it.
Well, I agree. I think we've got a good group, and collectively they do love basketball, which we all as coaches feel so important to guys continuing to grow and get better every day. And with that being said, Lane's in the gym with these guys, so is my entire staff, but just constantly in there getting extra work and shots and film sessions. So we're lucky to have this guy at Chipola. We won't have him much longer. I think, you know, I'm realistic about how long we can keep guys as talented as Lane. And as we talked about, he'll be a head junior college coach soon or move up to a Division I assistant level real soon. So Chipola Nation, Lane Blue, associate head coach. We've got two big dates coming up. We got Friday evening, we play Mississippi Gulf Coast, Lane's old school, at 7 p.m. They've got a really nice team, well-coached team. Owen Miller does a fantastic job. And then the next day at 3 o'clock, we play Georgia Highlands. Coach JJ over there is another outstanding coach. They've won the league over there in Georgia 4 of the last 6 years. So we're going to have two great ball games, Friday at 7 and Saturday at 3. We certainly hope that you'll come out out and support our team, and we hope to see you there. Go Indians.